Welcome to the ultimate police pursuit countdown. These are the top 10 wildest high-speed chases, captured live from dash cams and body cams. One wrong move can change everything. Let's jump straight into the action.
It was September 28, 2024, when a trooper was patrolling U.S. Highway 78 when a gray Dodge Ram goes flying past at 107 miles per hour in a 60 zone. He flips around, hits the lights, and gives chase, watching the Ram using the turning lane to pass other vehicles like it's his own personal express lane. The truck actually stops at a red light at Commerce Drive for just a split second, long enough to make you think this is over, then blows straight through it and keeps going west into a highly populated area.
Be said again, Commerce. 1037. Be Arkansas 028, Union King 0, Big Red Dashcam.
10-4, down 450, 53, 63, stay low.
TBI. Roll over.
The Ram comes to rest upright and the trooper approaches, weapon drawn, to find Mr. Hotchkiss slumped over the steering wheel, not moving. The trooper moves in, confirms he's breathing, and waits for backup. Once other troopers arrive, they pull Hotchkiss out and get the cuffs on, and the smell of alcohol is immediate. A bottle of Beam's 8-Star whiskey is found right there in the truck. Jonesboro City, Light and Water assessed the broken utility pole at approximately $5,000 in damage on top of a parked vehicle with a burned hole in its roof. Mr. Hotchkiss walked away from all of that, facing stack of charges. On October 11, 2022, Trooper Brady Bates was on patrol when he spotted a pickup truck with expired tags and pulled behind it with lights and sirens activated. The driver pulled over to the side of the road and the trooper approached, obtaining the driver's ID before returning to his patrol car to run the information. What came back changed everything. The driver had a felony warrant for burglary, resisting, and fleeing. But before Trooper Bates could approach the driver again, the suspect realized he was in trouble and took off, fleeing head-on into traffic.
.33 Newport, 1037. Fixing to be coming up on William Baptist. Traffic is medium.
Seen it, that's not what it's at.
B33 Jonesboro.
B33.
I'll be 1037, 67 North.
Go ahead, we got B33, 1037, 67 North. Go ahead, Black, Nissan, car.
It's gonna be a big It's going into oncoming traffic.
After the trooper attempted to line up for a pit for a second time, the suspect swerved all the way to the other side of the road, now going over 100 miles per hour, the wrong way into oncoming traffic. Because of that, the trooper had to stay in his lane and wait, either for the suspect to come back or just hoping that someone innocent doesn't get in trouble because of him.
Rolling about 85, 90, still northbound on the southbound shoulder.
There's the only one on the shoulder. What's the traffic light having accident?
He's gonna be wrecked out.
Hands! You better get that right!
The truck came to a stop after a horrific crash, and the driver was inside, quickly arrested by responding troopers. But the passenger was ejected halfway through the crash, and troopers found her unresponsive. She was quickly transported to the hospital, where she was later pronounced dead. When it comes to the suspect who had a warrant and now fled from troopers once again, he got himself in even bigger trouble that won't let him drive again for a long time. On May 29, 2025, in Butler County, Ohio, at around 6 p.m., Ohio State Highway Patrol troopers were checking speeds on I-75 in Franklin Township when the driver of a GMC Envoy, later identified as Jennifer Wilson, was clocked going 82 miles per hour in a 65 miles per hour zone. When troopers initiated a stop, Wilson allegedly refused to comply, continuing for several minutes before veering off the road.
Pull up. White female driver, black hair, 40s.
Only going around us. We're coming up to the rest area.
Troopers tried to box her in and tell her to pull over, but she wouldn't listen. And those are the kind of decisions that you're going to pay a heavy price for.
Southbound 26 and right. Off the right side of the road. Right in 31. Right, 31. Starting EMS.
Dark block, signal 5. Rolled over about 6 times.
The trooper executed a pit maneuver that sent the vehicle off the road, rolling over multiple times before coming to rest. Unfortunately, the pit was not in the reach of the dash cam, but the outcome says it all, how wild it was. As first responders made their way to the scene, a passing nurse stopped to render aid. Wilson sustained minor injuries and was transported to a nearby hospital before being booked into jail. According to OSHP, she now faces multiple charges, including operating a vehicle under the influence, failure to comply with a lawful order, and losing control of her vehicle. Investigators also linked her to a hit-and-run incident reported earlier that day in Montgomery County. On January 12, 2026, Trooper Sheldon Phipps was notified of an active operation being conducted by the Benton County Special Operations Unit involving a planned traffic stop in Lowell, Arkansas. Known information at the time indicated the primary target, Misael Presas, was traveling to conduct a hand-to-hand purchase of a controlled substance. Investigative intelligence further indicated Presas was known to be armed and likely to flee from law enforcement. At approximately 11:07 a.m., while monitoring Benton County radio traffic, Trooper Phipps observed multiple marked and unmarked law enforcement units, with emergency lights and sirens activated, attempt to initiate a traffic stop on a black Cadillac Escalade. The vehicle failed to yield and continued slow rolling despite the presence of multiple emergency vehicles.
They got them blocked in. They got them blocked in.
Oh, they do? What?
Hey, I'm 1037. TBI, felony stop.
Show me your hands! Behind you! Show me your hands! Push your hands!
He's digging left,
He's digging! He's digging!
Put both hands up on the roof now! Put your hands on the roof! Backseat passenger, put your hands on the roof! Get back!
Guns are pointed north. Have units come up northbound in Dixieland.
During this time, the driver, Presas, was observed reaching around inside the vehicle and failing to comply with lawful verbal commands. After a period of non-compliance, Presas was taken into custody without further incident. The rear seat passenger was identified as Elijah Carpenter and was taken into custody without incident. Benton County deputies conducted a probable cause search of the vehicle and located a large quantity of cocaine inside a baggie. Both subjects were transported to the Benton County Jail. Misael Presas was charged with fleeing in a vehicle exceeding the speed limit and possession with intent to deliver cocaine. Elijah Carpenter was charged with possession with intent to deliver cocaine. On April 9th, 2025, at 4:30 in the afternoon in Livingston County, Michigan, deputies attempt to stop a stolen BMW X5. The SUV has 5 occupants ranging from 15 to 19 years old and absolutely no intention of pulling over. And what follows is one of the most reckless pursuits Michigan rush hour traffic has ever had the misfortune of hosting.
He's going right over Brighton. You need to get here.
Clear.
Units are converted to your time.
1502 to Central.
He's in construction.
Clear on the construction line.
Going down the ramp.
Going into the city. Left flank.
Going open yard, 6043.
I think you just ran the sheriff's truck. Yeah, 13's with him. It's like, I'll call it 35. Keep going.
120 miles per hour through highway traffic, and the BMW is striking other vehicles along the way. Not near misses, not close calls, just straight up hitting cars and keeping going, at least 6 of them. Then out of the window comes a firearm, thrown from a moving vehicle onto the interstate. Then another one. 2 guns discarded mid-chase like they were empty coffee cups.
Clear, rear end.
Just threw a gun out. Just threw a gun out.
Yeah, start gun out, 6045.
Right at the westbound on ramp. Right over Brighton. Rear end of the white truck.
Rear end of white truck, 6043. Be advised, I'm on with Ingham right now. They're trying to get you Dix. They said this vehicle is involved in a retail fraud out of Dix and Opus earlier.
Up on the shoulder. Fowlerville. Trying to get back on the expressway. They're back up on the expressway. Looks like we're accident up. At 104. Exit 104. Getting off.
Anything at 104, getting off at 7. Okay, I'm starting approaching another intersection.
Just got on the car, another car on Jolly. Jolly.
Jolly. So Joey.
5 occupants ages 15 to 18 all taken into custody. The 19-year-old driver faces multiple charges and remains jailed. The youngest is transferred to a juvenile facility on an existing apprehension order, and the 18-year-old passenger gets jailed separately for violating bond conditions in another case. 2 additional suspects believed to have fled on foot during the final moments are still being searched for. On November 13, 2020, Trooper Shane was stationary on the side of the road, watching traffic, when he catches a white pickup truck in his mirror coming in hot. He pulls out, lets it pass, and falls in behind it. And the moment those lights and sirens go on, the truck driver answers with his right foot, burying the throttle and making it very clear this is not going to be a simple traffic stop.
836 on the assistance B. Go ahead and call me 1037. About 30 northbound, approaching the county line. Can you?
36 was the reason.
Right now he's passing people on the shoulder. I have felony fleeing. Initial speed was 101. 10-4, we're 530 northbound at the 15. The traffic's moderate. He's weaving in and out, passing people on the shoulder. Current speed's 1.
Open up towards Boston Pit.
The level of recklessness from the very first second catches even the trooper off guard. This suspect came out of the gate like he had absolutely nothing to lose and everything to prove, making it crystal clear he is willing to risk it all to stay out of those handcuffs. But risking it all against Arkansas State Troopers is a very different proposition than most people realize, and while it might not be easy for anyone involved, one thing is already certain, that this is going to be dramatic.
We're taking the exit 12, taking exit 12, it's the Woodson exit. He's getting back on the interstate northbound. E36 on left. Can I get a turn on 28?
Five 36. What's the location now?
Even at 140 miles per hour, the suspect pulls further away, using the shoulder, but the trooper keeps eyes on him and watches him take an exit further down the road. And what happens next, neither of them saw coming.
Stand by, I think you just took the 7.
The trooper takes that exit at the same speed and ends up in the woods right alongside the suspect. Both cars off the road and everything suddenly very quiet. The suspect takes off on foot but doesn't get far and is caught shortly after and taken into custody. The trooper, however, faces consequences of his own and is suspended following the chase. And honestly, was it the right call? On September 28, 2022, a trooper sitting stationary on Glenwood Avenue watches a white Dodge Charger with black stripes go flying past on Interstate 20. Radar confirms it going 105 miles per hour in a 65 zone, and the Charger takes the Hill Street exit. Trooper gets behind it, lights on, and it actually pulls over for about 2 seconds before flooring it and taking off into the Atlanta night.
Good idea. Oh, yeah, Tulsa 36. Right turn, eastbound on the Memorial. Clear right turn, eastbound on Memorial. 114 seconds there. Crossing over Cherokee, eastbound Memorial. Yep. Wrong side of the road. Going through the light in Park Ave. Crossing the Boulevard, still eastbound. There, crossing the Boulevard. Hey, 114, I'm on 1 second there. There's only a still eastbound Memorial coming up on Bill Kennedy. Clear going up Bill Kennedy. I've got the intersection shut down here at Memorial. Let me
The Charger leaves the roadway and slams into a power pole coming to rest right in front of a church. The passenger gets out and lies on the ground while the driver Tariq Barner crawls out of the passenger side and takes off on foot. Both deploy their taser simultaneously and Barner hits the ground and the cuffs go on right there outside that church. A search of the Charger turns up a clear container of marijuana weighing approximately 1 pound sitting inside. Both transported to Grady Hospital, and Barner, due to his injuries, was released to hospital staff with warrants secured for a later date. On January 6, 2024, just before midnight in Atlanta, and a red Lincoln is cutting through traffic with no signals and zero regard for anyone else on the road. The trooper hits the lights on Interstate 20 eastbound, and the Lincoln floors it. Wrong lanes, gore areas, red lights, and nearly a head-on collision going the wrong way on Boulevard before Georgia State Patrol units start closing in from every direction.
Just on the red, I get Boulevard. Clear. I'm taking primary. 20 west, back around the Hill Street. People been here coming up to the connector, stand by. He's trying to take the connector, it's got a tent tag on it. Paul 5126398. 126398. Trying to swerve off, stand by. Hit. Taking off again, Atlanta, taking off again.
The first pit didn't connect, but it sent a message loud and clear. These troopers are not here to play, and the next attempt is already coming, whether he is ready for it or not.
Get out! Hey, stop reaching! Stop reaching! Get out! Get out! Get out!
With guns drawn and aimed directly at driver, he had no other option than to surrender, and he was taken into custody. Inside, the Lincoln trooper found a Glock 22 illegally modified to fire fully automatic on the driver's floorboard, a bag containing a large quantity of marijuana individually packaged, with a digital scale and a stack of cash on Hill's person. The passenger, Ms. Lee, later tells investigators she asked to be let out multiple times, starting well before the third pit. Hill's response every time, "I can't go to jail." We usually know how these stories go. Traffic stop, lights come on, and the suspect either pulls over or runs. But what happens when the running starts before the stop even begins? Well, on September 30th, 2022, a trooper spotted a white Jeep Grand Cherokee merging onto I-85 North from Cleveland Avenue at a high rate of speed. The Jeep kept accelerating, weaving through lanes without signaling. The trooper got behind it and clocked the speed at 94 miles per hour in a 55 zone. But before a stop could even be attempted, the driver gunned it, crossing the Gore area and fleeing into the night.
More 10, 3, 10, 30, 30, 10, 80.
As the chase progressed, the suspect showed no signs of slowing down, driving recklessly at high speeds and showing zero regard for anyone else on the road. As the suspect began to slow down, the passenger suddenly jumped out of the vehicle, and little did he know, that would turn out to be the best decision he has ever made.
Where's your dick? You get on and go, where you got it? I got a gun off. Yeah, please, I got full car in the middle of it, real quick.
Yes.
And leave the car in the middle of it, real quick.
Yes.
And leave the car up. See you on the back, baby. Leave the car up. Car 52 going on the back, baby.
He's not in the car. Here he is.
When troopers arrived at the crash scene, the Jeep was overturned and engulfed in flames. One trooper grabbed a fire extinguisher and managed to put out the blaze. As the chaos unfolded, 2 unresponsive males were located nearby. Near the crash site, troopers also found a broken and bloody AR-15 rifle, later turned over as evidence. The 2 deceased suspects were identified as Broderick Dunn and Marion Clotter. The lone survivor, the passenger who jumped out moments before the crash, was identified as Montavious Lovejoy. He was taken to Grady Hospital with a gunshot wound he had sustained prior to the pursuit. On December 4th, 2024, a Georgia State Patrol trooper was patrolling on Macon Road when he observed a silver Toyota Camry traveling eastbound and weaving within its lane. He ran the vehicle's tag, which showed the vehicle had no valid insurance. The trooper activated his emergency lights and sirens to initiate a traffic stop. The trooper exited his vehicle and began a driver's side approach. As the trooper almost reached the rear of the Camry, he observed the driver move his head forward toward the roadway. The driver then drove forward and away from him, initiating a pursuit.
Keep up on the red light. Slowing down, traffic left. Stopping, good right. Road.
As he attempted to outpace the trooper, he nearly fully lost control in the process. He managed to recover somehow, but now the trooper was right behind him, and he knew it was only a matter of time before he got stopped. But he could not predict that it would be way worse than that.
Coming up on 22. Alright, coming up to the intersection. One car ahead of us. I'm braking on it. I want to sit in the truck. You brake check me on the tip, no contact.
The suspect began picking up really high speed, but the trooper managed to keep up with his attempts. The trooper, realizing the road was open and the suspect definitely had no intentions of stopping, lined up for a pit.
Traffic. This mile marker 14. Mile marker 14. Clear, mile marker 14.
On first sight, it was definitely not looking good for the suspect, and when the trooper approached, the second sight was even worse. He found the suspect unresponsive in the totally wrecked car. Trooper Sikora arrived on scene to assist. They checked for a pulse and found the driver's breathing was shallow. EMS arrived and quickly transported the suspect, who was identified as 18-year-old Kamari Gamble, to Piedmont Midtown in Columbus, but he was later pronounced deceased at the hospital. On April 9, 2024, Officer Palmer of the City of Monroe Police Department observed a vehicle with dark tinted windows pass by. Unbeknownst to Officer Palmer at the time, the individual inside had multiple reasons for concealing themselves behind those windows. Officer Palmer activated his lights to conduct a traffic stop for the window tint violation, but the driver had no intention of pulling over, and what started as a simple traffic stop was about to reveal much more.
Yes, 7028, RRI 7028, a white Lexus, passenger car radio, Walker Drive, approach South Broad. Alright, made a left on South Broad, heading towards town, past the fan road. South Broad, past the fan road. What's Georgia? Right now, 1 to 10, reckless.
What's the location?
Passing Mirror Street. LT, if I get in the area, I have permission to tent.
Where are you at? Coming down Church Street.
Passing Washington, crossing over Spring.
As the chase progressed, the suspect was driving in the middle of the road between cars at a high rate of speed. He ran red lights and showed complete disregard for anyone's safety on the road. Due to the many cars on the road, the officer had to be very careful while trying to get closer to the suspect, balancing the need to apprehend him with the safety of innocent motorists caught in the middle of the pursuit.
GSP 637, I'm right here, City.
Coming up on 78.
$358, $330, I'll call out for you. Okay, fine.
The vehicle's registered out of Hall. I don't know if it's trying to get that location.
37, all units. 58 and 30 stay in it. Everybody else turn. 1211 north. Coming up on John Deere. Monroe units says 58 and 30, 1022. They're out of the city. That's a big passes.
Clear on this one, right?
Hey, I can pit this guy if I got permission.
58, radio. Just made a left. Mountain Creek Church Road.
The primary officer was struggling to gain control over the suspect in the chase, and the suspect's driving was only getting worse. That's when another backup officer took over the chase as the primary unit, bringing fresh energy and tactical positioning to the pursuit in an effort to end it safely.
Check that. Left on New Oak Church Road. Left on New Oak Church. Yes, they did. Yes, they did.
Get on the ground. Get on the ground.
Daniel Lee Campbell was booked into the Walton County Jail and charged with 3 counts of felony fleeing, possession of methamphetamine, possession of marijuana, drug-related objects, 2 counts of reckless driving, speeding, wrong-way driving, failure to maintain lane, running a red light, obstruction, and a window tint violation. Campbell also had active warrants for 2 counts of reckless conduct, discharging a gun near a highway and on another's property. He allegedly fired 3 shots into the air during a domestic dispute, then fled and had been on the run since September 20th, 23. He also had warrants out of DeKalb County and Lawrenceville. Campbell took a plea deal and was sentenced to 3 years in prison, followed by 10 years of probation, plus $3,500 in fines. The judge also ordered him to pay $4,966.10 in restitution to repair the trooper's damaged patrol vehicle and to obtain his GED. It was June 20th, 2023, and the 10th Judicial Drug Task Force was already in a pursuit with a silver Chevrolet Impala on U.S. Highway 63 when they call in Arkansas State Police for backup. Trooper Grant takes primary at 4:09 p.m., and immediately this is no ordinary chase. The Impala is flying northbound recklessly at high speed with multiple occupants inside, and everyone in that car knows exactly why they can't get caught.
I just throw a bag out of the window. Throw a bag out of the window. Dropped $400 for it. About right down here in the bird.
As the chase progresses, the Impala is pushing to extremely dangerous speeds, and suspect comes within inches of a head-on collision with another vehicle that had absolutely nothing to do with any of this. The danger is at a level where waiting is no longer an option, and Trooper Grant knows it. He's ready to execute the pit. It's just a matter of finding that one perfect moment, and when it comes, he is not missing it.
Orange is Virginia Avenue units.
TVI.
not directly in the area. They have been notified. It looks like that they went 2 to 3.
DBI, one rolled out. They're running.
All 4 doors fly open and everyone runs. Trooper Grant catches Quintine Lowe in the woods, first hands him off to a DTF agent, and immediately turns around and goes after the other 2. Dash and Cobb is found laying down by a fence trying to disappear into the ground. The 3rd suspect, Donnie Lowe, is inside the barn somewhere. All 4 suspects accounted for, all evidence turned over to Drug Task Force Commander James Slaughter. 4 suspects, a bag of stolen weapons thrown from a moving car, and a manhunt ending in a red barn. And on this day, 4 people found out exactly why that stat exists. On January 1st, 2024, as the first night of the new year settled over Monona, Wisconsin, a local officer was beginning what should have been a routine patrol. The officer's attention was drawn to an SUV that made an abrupt, a maneuver that looked less like a mistake and more like a desperate attempt to avoid being seen. Sensing something was wrong, the officer followed the vehicle into a nearby parking lot, but the driver refused to settle into a stall. Instead, the SUV whipped around and accelerated with a roar. The officer activated his emergency lights and pursued the suspect. The chase quickly turned into a high-speed blur as the SUV tore down Nichols Road at speeds reaching above 80 miles per hour. The driver showed a total disregard for the safety of the community, blowing through a red light at Flom Road as the pursuit moved toward Stoughton Road. The pursuit reached its catastrophic end when the SUV careened off the road and slammed into a tree, erupting into a massive fireball that could be seen from blocks away. All 3 people inside, 30-year-olds Rashad Nelson and Aaron Willis and 19-year-old Ajaya Rai, were pronounced dead at the scene. Investigators discovered that none of the occupants were wearing seatbelts at the time of the high-speed impact. A subsequent search of the charred wreckage allegedly uncovered 2 stolen firearms and a stash of marijuana, hinting at the desperate motive behind the initial flight. Furthermore, toxicology reports later revealed that the driver was operating the vehicle with a lethal cocktail of THC, methamphetamine, and promethazine in their system. 2023, trouble was brewing in Arkansas. It all started when a trooper spotted an SUV with expired tags, but instead of pulling over, the driver hit the gas. That's when one name changed everything. Trooper Jacob Bird, already a legend in high-speed pursuits, was en route to assist.
Hey, you need to stay off the road. We may have a pursuit coming through. Stay off the road.
in the line. 10-4, straight to the intersection. Watch the cars coming on. There's a creek right here in tracks. I'm from this area, I know it. So I'm gonna hang back and wait. Once we get through this area, then we'll adjust it.
Alexander Road and Viney Ridge.
Just tracks up the
55. No traffic on Alexander Road.
Trooper Bird didn't waste a second, and he took over as the primary unit. And if the suspect had any idea who was behind him, he might have thought twice. But instead, he kept running, unknowingly writing his own ending straight into Trooper Bird's signature move.
So he's going to try to turn. We're not going to let it get into Amazon.
Show me your hands! 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 Get on the ground! Get on the ground! Now! Hey guys, careful, careful, careful. I've only seen 2.
The suspect considered running, but one look at the K9 units changed that plan fast. Both the driver and passenger were taken into custody without further incident. Once again, Trooper Bird reminded everyone, it doesn't take much for him to bring a chase to an end, just skill, precision, and a badge. In Charlotte County, Florida, on March 4th, 2024, a routine patrol turned into a high-speed pursuit when a white Dodge Charger with blacked-out tints refused to stop. Moments later, the Charger was flying down the I-75 at over 145 miles per hour, recklessly weaving through traffic and using the shoulder as his lane. With speeds climbing and danger mounting, Trooper Prosper took the lead, and with another trooper now locked into the pursuit, the chances of stopping this maniac in a Charger had just gone up. The Charger plunged into a ditch filled with water, coming to rest half submerged. Troopers rushed in with weapons drawn, forcing the suspects out at gunpoint. The driver was identified as Tobias Burchard Travio Cody and his passenger as Roosevelt Williams. Inside the Charger, troopers uncovered marijuana, drug paraphernalia, and a loaded handgun in the glove box. Cody was charged with aggravated fleeing, aggravated battery with a deadly weapon, and reckless driving causing damage. Both suspects were medically cleared before being booked into jail. On March 6, 2021, while on patrol in Fulton County, Trooper monitored traffic at Andrew Young International Boulevard and Centennial Olympic Park Drive. He heard a vehicle doing a burnout and confirmed it was a black and red Dodge Charger. Trooper activated his emergency lights as the Charger turned onto Centennial Olympic Park Drive. Despite other troopers blocking its path, the driver accelerated, fleeing up Lucky Street. Trooper notified Troop C Communications of the pursuit as they turned north onto Ted Turner Drive.
1080, 1080. You
on 1050 right here. He just rammed the car. He just rammed the car.
Just turn on to Ivan Allen Jr. Bullhorn. Bay Army just wrecked into a vehicle on Ivan Allen.
On your stomach! On your stomach! Stop!
The Dodge traveled into oncoming traffic and struck a vehicle stopped at the light, becoming disabled. Trooper exited the patrol car, drew his firearm, and ordered the driver out of the vehicle. The driver, identified as Jimmy Turner, was taken into custody without further incident. On June 7th, a murder suspect fled Ohio police at speeds over 100 miles per hour. Dayton police say officers began pursuing 57-year-old William Hefner after spotting him in his truck, just days after he allegedly shot another man and fled the scene.
Come on! Come on! Still westbound Oak Ridge. I don't see anybody behind me.
The lead officer in the pursuit called for backup as the suspect sped through someone's lawn in a desperate attempt to escape.
Bailing out Oak Ridge and Tyson. He's continuing, going northbound on Tyson. Come up. Alright, 340 on car number 2. I think the person's going to be car 1. Still,
As a second officer took over the pursuit, he confirmed the suspect was speeding over 100 miles per hour. That speed ultimately caused the suspect to lose control and crash.
Wreck out!
Following the crash, officers rushed to the suspect's truck and quickly pulled him out.
Show me your hands! Do it now! Show me your hands! Show me your hands! Don't you move! Hang on, get him on the other side. Get him on the other side. Pull him out. Get him out. Get him out. Get out here. Pull him out. Get him on side.
The suspect was arrested and taken into custody, bringing the chase to an end. On April 28, 2023, in Grand Rapids, Michigan, state police troopers located a stolen vehicle in the city of Wyoming. When they tried to make a traffic stop, the driver hit the gas and fled. That would be the first of many stupid decisions these suspects made that day.
Infinity. Too fast. Copy that, head northbound. Yep, we're coming up to the dead end. Coming up to the dead end. Alright, we are at... We're going back southbound. Going 3 yards, going back southbound. It's occupied at least 4 times, it appears. Speeds are 70, we're still westbound. It's light traffic. Northbound Byron Center. Still northbound, speeds are 60. Northbound Byron Center, we're coming up to Golden. Medium traffic coming up to the red light at Prairie Parkway. Green light, speeds at 95.
The suspect continued driving all over the road at dangerously high speeds. He somehow avoided every car in his path, but as he approached an intersection with a red light and a line of vehicles ahead, he made a huge mistake.
Light traffic, dry roads, speeds are 85 right now.
Dry roads, 85.
We are through the red light. You're good, right? Clyde Park, through Clyde Park. He just hit a parked car. He is crashed at Rodriguez into the telephone pole.
Watch the lines, watch the lines, watch the lines.
We got lines down.
Where's your hands? Hands! Put your hands up! Hands up! Hands! Hands now! Hands up!
Crawl, you gotta come out. Keep walking. Turn around. Turn around. There's one more here.
No, stay in the car.
How many more people are in there?
Put your palms together. Relax your fingers like your friend.
How many more people are in there?
Both suspects were arrested and taken into custody after crashing into a pole that left their car disabled. They had just turned 18, yet still chose to run, risking everything. Let's hope they learned from the mistakes they made that day. Before noon on December 19, 2023, when a high-speed pursuit on I-40 in Crittenden County turned deadly. The suspect, 43-year-old Mario Page of West Memphis, was wanted on multiple felony warrants. When an Arkansas state trooper assisting a drug task force tried to stop him, Page hit the gas and pushed his car to 140 miles per hour, weaving across lanes, passing on the shoulder and forcing innocent drivers off the road. The trooper moved in ready to perform a TVI, but in a split second, Page slammed on the brakes. The trooper's vehicle collided with him and the suspect's car launched down an embankment. Paramedics rushed in, but it was too late. Mario Page was pronounced dead at the scene. As Colonel Mike Hagar later stated, the suspect was driving recklessly and putting the public in extreme danger. Although we regret any loss of life, we thank God our trooper and other motorists were not injured. A tragic ending to a reckless chase, and another reminder that at 140 miles per hour, one bad move. In Franklin County, the Franklin County Sheriff's Office became involved in a pursuit of a stolen vehicle. Little did anyone know, this chase would turn into one of the most tragic pursuits in the county's history. It all started when an officer located the stolen vehicle and activated emergency lights and sirens. But, as expected, the suspect failed to stop, kicking off what would become a crazy and tragic pursuit. One trooper was in position, ready to deploy spike strips. As the suspect approached, the trooper deployed them, but the attempt was unsuccessful. The suspect kept fleeing, refusing to stop. As the trooper exited the highway, the suspect continued driving recklessly, running a red light and swerving into oncoming traffic. What happened next would go down as one of the most tragic pursuits in the county's history.
Hey, listen, passing Hamilton Square, still going about 60. We're going into southbound lanes of travel. Or north.
As a pedestrian tried to cross the road, the suspect struck him, and tragically he lost his life on the spot, just for trying to cross the street. It was a heartbreaking moment. What makes it even worse is that the suspect kept fleeing as if nothing had happened. That's truly beyond belief. The suspect eventually came to a stop and, along with all of the passengers, exited the vehicle and began fleeing on foot. The trooper pursued them in the patrol car before coming to a stop, exiting the vehicle and giving chase on foot. With multiple troopers now involved in the pursuit, all of the suspects were apprehended. The suspect who had struck the 61-year-old pedestrian was arrested, but tragically he passed away 3 months later in the hospital due to injuries sustained during the chase.
He's about to wreck up.
Good out there.
On January 2nd, 2025, Corporal Ben Ibarra was patrolling Interstate 640. He noticed a vehicle speeding up and slowing down, then accelerating to 91 miles per hour before taking the Fair Park exit. The license plate cover was so dark he couldn't tell if it had a plate. When he activated his lights, the driver turned north on Fair Park and took off.
Thanks. 722 driver, you about section now.
Just past Zoo. Turning south on Woodrow, back towards 630.
The suspect continued fleeing through city streets, reaching speeds of over 100 miles per hour, while heading eastbound on Markham. As the pursuit reached the area of Woodrow, Maryland, and 12th Street, the situation became even more dangerous.
Turning on 11th. Westbound.
Turning on 11th west.
South on Booker, back towards 12th.
South on Booker.
Turning on west on 13th.
West on 13th.
Going west on 8th.
West on 8th.
East on Maryland.
doing circles in this Maryland area, north of Balmer. He's about to wreck out.
Turn out there.
He just went through a fence, now he's going through a yard.
After circling around the area, the suspect finally came to a stop by crashing through a fence. He then jumped out of the vehicle and fled on foot.
East on 10th.
East on 10th.
Got one on foot. Got one running the opposite direction on foot.
Troopers gave chase but quickly lost sight of the driver. But LRPD launched a drone and spotted the suspect hiding between two fences. He had taken off most of his clothes and still had the keys to the stolen car on him. Even though he claimed he wasn't the driver, the evidence said otherwise. Eventually, he gave up and told officers to take him to jail. He was charged with multiple offenses, including fleeing, theft by receiving, DWI, and reckless driving.